Hi guys, it's Julie from Calm Belly Kitchen, and today is the first part in a series to help you take control of IBS in 2017 with the FODMAP diet. Are you ready? Let's do this. Over the next few days, I'm going to be giving you some new resources to help you get started on the FODMAP diet on the right foot, no matter where you are, no matter if you've tried in the past and it never quite came together for you. I want you to forget all that. Don't worry about the stress. We're going to get rid of all that confusion and overwhelm, and we're going to do this thing the right way, and we're going to get it done so that you can have a calm belly life that you want. Today we're going to start with an overview of what the FODMAP diet is really for and how it's going to work for you and improve your life. Next, we are going to talk about how you can make any recipe, well, okay, not any recipe, that would be a little crazy, but make so many of your favorite recipes low FODMAP using my tips and strategies and examples. And then I am going to show you how to actually use portion control to make the FODMAP diet work. You hear so often that it's really, really important, but how does that actually look in your life and in your daily eating menu plan? Okay, if you're new to me, my name is Julie O'Hara. My website is Calm Belly Kitchen, and I'm a health coach who specializes in helping women manage IBS using the FODMAP diet. It is all about managing IBS with delicious food and not deprivation. I'm also a nutrition writer whose work has been published in Prevention, Shape, and Clean Eating, among others. And through my website, I offer one-on-one and group coaching programs to help you get through every phase of the FODMAP diet and apply it to your real life. And by the way, my first group program to help you do the first part, the hardest part of the FODMAP diet, the elimination phase, is starting up in just a couple of weeks. It's called Flat Belly Kitchen, and keep your eyes open because that's going to be coming soon. Okay, back to today's topic. We are going to talk about the big picture of the FODMAP diet. First, I need to start by busting a huge myth, and that is that you have to deprive yourself of food for life. That the FODMAP diet is all about a life of taking food away, and that's really not the case. The FODMAP diet starts with the elimination phase. That's when you take away high FODMAP foods. So yes, you do have to take away food for a set period of time, but it's not forever. The whole purpose of the elimination phase is to see if FODMAPs are actually causing your problems. So if you take them away and you start to feel a whole lot better, you start to see consistent improvement, you know that you're sensitive to FODMAPs. In doing this diet myself and in working with clients, I've found two main areas where people really get tripped up when they're first starting out. And sometimes it's enough to make you just quit or to spend months and months in this holding pattern. I call it elimination phase limbo, where you're sort of cutting out food, but not all the time, and it just goes on and on and on, and you never feel like you've actually done it or done it right, and you feel like you can't move on. So the first thing that seems to trip people up is having a really hard time mourning the food that they have to give up. It feels really unfair, and I have been in your shoes. It can be paralyzing. I know exactly what you're going through. So this is really the main thing that kept me from fully diving into the FODMAP diet for months and months and months. So I mean, granted, to give myself a little credit, it takes time to actually learn the foods that you're supposed to eat and not eat, and the portion sizes, and how to change recipes. And so I studied all that, and I kind of learned all that, but then I would think of these excuses, like it was summertime, and I can't possibly give up fresh peaches and figs and plums and nectarines. I used to eat that stuff constantly and I loved it. So that was my first excuse. Then it was my birthday and there was no way I was gonna not go out to eat for my birthday at my favorite Italian restaurant or make a cake. And then it was the holidays and on and on and on, and months went by before I fully did the elimination phase because I just didn't want to give up the food I love. I absolutely love to eat. So what I actually did to get over this was I used my knowledge about food. I was a food writer and recipe developer after all, and I used my taste buds and I started changing the recipes that I like, changing all my favorite things to make them low FODMAP. And yeah, listening to my taste buds, I realized that this food wasn't bad. That low FODMAP food could actually be delicious and drool-worthy. And yes, I said drool-worthy. That's what I want it to be. I want it to be that good, and it absolutely can be. And you don't have to have, you know, super professional cooking skills or all this chef knowledge to adapt your recipes to make them low FODMAP. But that's coming in the next training in this series, okay? So once I actually figured out that I could make low FODMAP food that I loved, that I was happy to cook for myself and for my husband, I managed to do the elimination phase, and I wondered what took me so long. Now, the other thing that really trips people up with the elimination phase is figuring out this whole portion control thing. So the way to do that is to really dive into the Monash FODMAP app. So if you don't have that app, the link will be here, and you have to download it. It's just so essential. It's so reliable. This is the university that's done all the research on the FODMAP diet, and they test foods continuously and they update their app. So you have to click into every food and see what the low FODMAP portion size is, if there's a high limit where a low FODMAP food becomes high FODMAP. So it is kind of a complicated process, but once you start familiarizing yourself with it, you'll see how it works. And I have a training where I'm going to help you actually apply this to your real life. I've got worksheets and menu templates so you can actually see what this looks like in a day of eating and how to balance out all these portions. So yes, it can seem a little bit crazy, but it doesn't have to trip you up and stop you from actually starting the elimination phase. So now that you're done with the elimination phase, it's time to actually start bringing food back, and that's what we call the reintroduction phase. So you reintroduce high FODMAP foods from each particular FODMAP group. You bring them back one by one to see how you react to them. So what you're trying to find out is the foods that actually trigger your symptoms. And here's the so important to remember. It might not be all of them. Okay. So you might be able to eat modest amounts of garlic and onion, and it's not something you'll have to give up for life, but you never know this until you go through this testing process. That's why it's so crucial. Every client I have ever worked with has found something out during the testing process that has surprised them. So I guarantee you, you might think you know what you're sensitive to, but you don't do it until you test it in a very organized, systematic way, and that's the reintroduction phase. And after that, well, what happens after that? So you've collected all of this information, you've learned about your body's unique tolerances and trigger foods and portion sizes and all your needs, but how does that actually let you go live a life where you can eat like a normal person? Because that's really what we want, right? And to not have IBS symptoms. So this is what I call the real life phase. It's part of the Calm Belly method, and as far as I know, far and wide, I am the only person who teaches this. And I show you how to actually take the data you've learned and see not just what test foods you can eat, because you're only testing 9 different foods, but I show you how to relate it to all the high FODMAP foods and figure out the portion sizes that are likely to work for you and figure out how to put it together in your day-to-day life. So that's kind of getting ahead of ourselves, but that's the big picture. So at the end of this whole learning process, you've figured out a unique eating style that works just for you, where you can keep your symptoms under control and still eat food you love and still have balance and still go to restaurants and travel and know what to expect and know where you can indulge and know where you should cut back. And that is how the FODMAP diet can really improve your life. Okay guys, remember, it doesn't matter what you've struggled with in the past, or if you fell off the wagon, or if you just didn't quite make this work. It is time for a fresh start. So your action step for today is to dig into that Monash app and start making a list of the foods you can eat. So make a list of everything that you actually like, that you can imagine incorporating into your diet, and dream up new ways that you can use it. The app is so worth it. If you don't have it, I think you should download it now. I still use it to this day. Now, your other action step, and this is going to be fun, is to have in the back of your mind, jot it down maybe somewhere, 2 or 3 of your favorite recipes that you think you can't eat anymore. Because in a few days, I'm going to show you how you can make your favorite recipes low FODMAP, how you can adapt them. I love a recipe makeover, and I think we're going to be able to bring at least one of your favorite recipes back into your life with some of these strategies to make it low FODMAP. All right, guys, that's it for today. I will talk to you soon.